What's up, everyone? I'm UFC Addict, and today we're joined by one of the top flyweights in New England. His next fight is at Combat FC for the vacant flyweight title. He is fighting for Das Bernav. His name is Carlos Lozoya. You're 1 week out from your fight. How are you feeling?
I feel great, man. In the past, I don't know if you know this, I've only had two fights at 125, and the rest of my fights have been at 135. But in the past, 125 was very difficult for me to be where I'm at, and I've been just disciplined for a really long time, and dude, it's way easier if you just disciplined about it rather than crack. Yeah, because even 3 months of dieting for me is not enough. So I basically been dieting since November, for that my last fight with Chris Disnell, and I kept my weight low right after that. So, dude, it's been easy. It's been really. I feel great. Other times going to 25, it was at this point I was fucking miserable. Weed was food, and fighting with my wife all the time, shit like that, where it's just. But now, dude, I feel good. I feel normal, so I'm really excited about that.
Have you had anybody help you with the nutrition?
I work with Eric Pena, but me and him have had a great relationship the last 2 years. I dialed in, and dude, I feel great. It's been awesome.
Making your Combat FC debut in February, what was your overall experience with the promotion?
One of my favorite promotions to date, Combat FC. You know what I loved, and I remember when I got my finish, I remember seeing Joe Cav. I remember seeing him on the sidelines, like excited, like a fan. I've never seen that from any promoter my entire life. I've just never seen a promoter that loves what he does. People are here to enjoy themselves. I had a really fun time. I loved Combat FC. The venue was cool. Everything was cool about it. So it's run by guys like you and me who just love MMA.
Was there any extra excitement being that it was on Fight Pass?
That's where you want to be as a prospect, because you want to get seen by people, and hopefully the right person sees you, and your name starts buzzing. I was 7-2. I was a 6-fight win streak. I was killing good dudes, and then I got on Fight Pass, and boom, I was I blew up for a second, and then I lost two.
After you got that first round rear naked choke so quick, was that something that you were expecting? Did you drill that a lot in camp?
Natural. What's been different with this camp and all my other camps, the last two camps, is that I've been working a lot with New England Cartel. I've never found a gym that trains MMA. My gym training was jiu-jitsu and then Muay Thai. I never trained with MMA gloves. My fight before, my Chris one, the fight before that, and then even the Randy one, grappling with gloves for the first time, or when you don't train it, it feels weird when you're trying to go sink in submissions, and then
Right.
this now I have I have practice wearing gloves now. 12, 13 fights later. Tyson is a coach. He's a great coach, and I'm a good grappler, so I just got a lot more reps.
That's awesome, man. And you mentioned you're not from Massachusetts, so where are you originally from?
I'm originally from Las Vegas, fight capital of the world, but I grew up in a jiu-jitsu gym. I grew up underneath a legend, Sergio Pena. He's a 8th degree black belt now, red and white belt. So that's the guy I grew up training under, and but I was always a jiu-jitsu guy. I was an MMA guy, and then I went to go. I had a scholarship to go wrestle, and then I wrestled in college. And I did fantastic in college, but I was a shitty student, and then I joined the military. So I bounced around with the military as well. So, and then I got out of the military and started training MMA some more. So yeah.
Did you end up linking up with Connor and the rest of the guys at the New England Cartel?
I linked up with Connor through the military. So we were both stationed at Fort Lewis, Washington.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and then that jiu-jitsu gym that I went to, he did the same thing. He was going through some shit too. And after his deployment, he went to some jiu-jitsu gym right outside of Post, and then that's where we met. But those two guys were the guys that definitely pushed me to fight again, because I had a 2-3 year layoff because I was training. I was doing a lot of training for the military. Just love I love jiu-jitsu. I love training. I love pushing myself. I love that. I love the feeling of like breaking yourself in a gym. I love that, and I love developing, and then I love helping other guys develop. When like Connor got his call to the UFC, like man, it was like I got to the UFC. So like
Yeah.
I love that feeling, man. I love when people succeed. I love when my teammates succeed. I love that culture. I'm a competitor. Competition. I love to be pushed.
After the fight with Chris, how did the title fight come about?
I'm the top ranked flyweight. I'm the top ranked flyweight in Massachusetts, and then I'm definitely one of the top ranked guys like in the nation, across all weight classes. So it's like, I think it just makes sense. I need a good opponent, and then this guy, he's 9-4. I'm 8-4. We've both fought really really good, high level people, and I think Joe sees that, and it just made sense.
Like, what are your game plan for the fight?
When I'm looking at like my fights, I always try to like analyze like what's my opponent's path to victory. Like this fight, I've been really really polishing up my boxing. You saw a little bit of it against Chris, who's a boxer wrestler, and I was outstriking him. I was outstriking Chris, and I really don't think, I feel like I can outstrike Ferdovs also. Obviously, that's not my game plan. My game plan is to outgrapple him, and I know he knows that. It's just whether or not he can stop that.
For the fight,
I mean, I'll like more than likely it's probably gonna be submission, just because like I think the gap in skill with my grappling is just way higher than like the gap in skill with our the striking. We're talking percentages. Ferdovs is fast. He's a good striker, and like that my path for victory is definitely grappling him. And although I know I can knock him out, there's still more risks to that than grappling. So I think submission, probably early. I think if I get him to the ground, it'll be more of a discrepancy with Ferdovs than it was with Chris, because Chris, at least he wrestled. He went 3 rounds with Jalen Bates on his back. He didn't get submitted until Jalen in the last few seconds of the third round. And I know if I get on top of Ferdovs, it's just different. It's gonna be a lot different for him. He's not gonna, at least someone his size, he's not gonna be. I think he's gonna be surprised in like how much better I am at grappling. Like he crumbles against high level competition, and I think it's gonna be a hard fight for him.
assuming you get it done next Friday, what's your plans and goals for the rest of 24?
I'm 28. Probably have, realistically a good like 5-6 years before I start, declining. Like I can get a contender series slot. If it's not enough, man, like I'm just gonna fight again. I just want to fight the best people. You look at my record, you look at the guys I fought. Like the last 2 guys I fought, the last guy I lost to, he's like number 2 in the nation, and the guy before that, when I fought him, he was number 5 in the nation. So like, I'm not losing to, like, I'm not fighting guys who are scrubs. I think I'm in a point in my life where I know like what it takes, and like the amount of discipline I need to fight at a higher level, that I didn't have in the past.
Saturday comes, it's after the fight. What's your go-to post meal?
My wife went to a bakery and she saved it for me for like after the fight, and then I had like a little muffin and stuff like that. But usually I like probably the first thing I'm gonna have is like, I love pizza and ice cream. I like that's pizza Regina. Oh my god, yeah. I'm gonna then we get some pizza Regina after my fight.
Is there anything you want to say before we sign off?
Just I'm grateful for all the guys I get to work. Greg Rebello, Tom Hafers, Tyson Chartier, like even the old coaches I had that I don't train with now, like Joe Lozon, Micah Brown. It's I can't help but like, especially recently, is like just feel grateful for like just having to have these guys like influence my path one way or another. So like really just shout out to all the coaches that were like dedicated to like my development. and the coaches who are doing it now. You know, I really I love it. I just love this, man. I feel like so lucky that I get to do this. And shout out to Ranger Dan, coffee Coffin Company, dude, tongue twister. He's always fucking hooking me up with coffee. I fucking love coffees. Thanks a lot, man.
I appreciate you, and good luck on the 24th, man. I hope I get to see you in action that night.
Likewise, I hope I get to see you there. Take care.